Good morning, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us on After GMS. It is Thursday, the 28th of July, also known as the day Megan got married.
Oh, thank you.
I know. I'm so sorry I didn't remember earlier.
It's okay. I mean, honestly, it has flown by 4 years. It seems like yesterday when I was waking up, like this time of day, getting ready, and going to the church, getting married, dancing the night away. Tonight on the agenda, tacos with the two kids.
Hey.
It's going to be a good night. It is.
You know what? A lot can happen in a year.
It does.
You've had 4 and you've had 2 amazing babies.
Thank you.
And, you know, obviously your husband is a great guy. So,
Thank you.
yeah, life has been progressing in all the right ways.
It has. You know, life changes every day. We learn something new about each other. Teamwork evolves, especially with parenthood now in the picture. And, you know, we're just living and learning and loving every day. So.
There you go.
Love that.
Yeah. Live happy.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
I'm Tracy McCain, Christian Morgan, Megan Millaris. Yes. And it is hot.
What was the weather like on your wedding day?
It was actually beautiful.
Oh.
I mean, we were expecting to be scorching hot, sweating it out. We had planned accordingly for photos. We had umbrellas on standby just in case because it is technically hurricane season. It ended up being really low humidity and beautiful.
I cannot offer the same thing for you today.
Well, that's all right. You did 4 years ago, so that's what matters.
I wasn't in charge of that 4 years ago, but I'll see what I can do today. Yeah, the heat and humidity are here. There's no doubt about that. The one difference today, though, is that we'll have a lower storm chance than we have over the last couple of days. So things should be a little quieter across the area today. Carolina blue sky and sunshine as you look out over the Piedmont right now. Taking a live look now in downtown High Point. 74 degrees right now in Greensboro, 75 in Winston-Salem. 73 in High Point, 76 in Lexington, 77 in Asheboro now, 74 in Troy, and low 70s up into the foothills as well. There's those feels like temperatures today once you factor in all of the abundant humidity that we have. Temperatures will feel like we're up close to 100 degrees this afternoon, so take it easy if you're going to be outside. The Bermuda High still largely in control of our weather, the westward extension of it, so that south wind continues to push in the heat and brings in all the moisture off of the ocean and out of the Gulf of Mexico. And today we're really relying on just that heat and humidity to get any thunderstorms going. We don't really have a trigger, so to speak, today, at least in the Piedmont. Further to our north and west, up over West Virginia into Kentucky, they'll likely have a better chance for showers and storms than we will here in the Piedmont. Of course, heading into the weekend, we're going to keep an eye on this cold front as it heads closer to us. It will cross the Piedmont on Saturday and does increase our rain and storm chance for your Saturday, then starts to lift back to the north. So Sunday likely has a better storm chance as well. For today, sunshine now early on. We'll get up into the low 90s this afternoon. Really after about 3 o'clock is when we'll watch for an isolated shower or storm to start to pop up through the dinner time hour. And then, as you know, losing the daytime heating will bring any action that's out there likely to an end. So there's your rain chances and how they stack up over the next 5 days. Pretty low today. Best chance over the next 7 days. You'll see in the 7-day forecast really are Saturday and Sunday. So weekend plans, you might want to back up for that. Here's an early look at how I think the weekend will play out. Most of the days, Saturday and Sunday, are going to be mostly cloudy. Not to say there couldn't be a few peaks of sunshine or that there won't be sunshine, but there will be more clouds than sun for your weekend and likely a good chance of scattered showers and storms Saturday. And then again on Sunday as that front starts to lift back to the north as a warm front. So weekend plans, make sure you have a backup and an indoor option for that, just in case. With the rain chances going up, extra cloud cover, temperatures will come down to the mid-80s Saturday and Sunday, and then rain chances start to go back down. We get back up to the 90s again Tuesday and Wednesday.
But for now, let's just focus in on that weekend. Low 80s.
Low 80s.
That's going to feel so nice.
That's the silver lining to the weekend.
Yeah. But I asked you earlier about the Hoppers game on Saturday night. I've been talking it up to my 2.5-year-old who is so excited about watching a baseball game. And you said maybe don't get him too excited because there's a chance of storms.
Yeah, there will be that. And honestly, you know, it's kind of one of those things that at some point over the weekend, you're likely going to get a storm. I don't know if that'll be for you on Saturday, for you on Sunday, or maybe both days. But likely at some point over the weekend, you're going to get a shower or a storm. That's just kind of how the weekend's shaping up.
Yeah.
So
make backup plans.
Make backup plans. Or you know, if you go into the Hoppers game, you know, it may be one of those things where you just plan to wear something that's not all that nice and plan some rain gear in case, you know, you get caught in one of those.
Okay.
Then Megan's like, I'm not going.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that.
Two kids in the rain. I don't know about that one.
Right.
We'll see.
So you notice our graphics behind us, right? We have one that says health, and we have someone lifting kettlebells. So you know that this conversation is about fitness right off, right? The question is, how do you stay active write your comment, your favorite workout, your fitness activity in the chat while we get this conversation started.
All right.
All right, we're talking about fitness because there is a new study. Of course, there's always a new study, but this one.
And it's always paid for by someone.
Right. But we can all probably learn something from this one.
Definitely.
It's interesting. It's what doctors have been saying for years, and now it's quantified in a new way. It shows adults who exercise double the suggested time could live longer. So current guidelines encourage adults to get at least 150 minutes of moderate exercise or 75 minutes of vigorous exercise per week. A new study says adults who engage in double the recommended amount had the lowest long-term risk of death. In the study, walking, weightlifting are considered moderate activity, while jogging, running, swimming, and bicycling and other aerobic exercises were considered vigorous. So how do you exercise? Do you do it this recommended amount of time, or do you give it more or less? Drop a comment below.
I give it more, probably more than recommended. Hours actually, because I do it every day. And now with classes at night, you know, I'm adding to that. Plus I'm running after a toddler and his older brother and sister. So yeah, I'm constantly moving, but I like staying active because I don't sleep. So I figure like it's better if you're not getting rest to keep moving, because then you don't like get tired, and when you're ready for bed, you know, knock right out.
Yeah.
Exactly. So being active is my new way of life.
That's a good way to put it.
Like I wrote in the chat, I'm like, burpees anyone? And people started laughing.
Yeah,
like,
no.
Worst exercise ever.
I know. Yeah, I asked Tracy for some like ab toning exercises. You know, after 2 babies, it's like, oh, you just take what you can get, right? But I wanted to maybe try to fit in some dresses that I hadn't been able to wear.
And
in a
you
while.
have.
Thank you.
Yeah,
but it's
look
been
good.
tight. But I was trying your exercises again the other day, and I'm like, oh my gosh, another rep of these? Like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I got to progress to that point.
Yeah.
Where you are.
Well, I've been helping Tanya recently. I've been giving her new exercises every week, and this week is cardio.
Okay.
And endurance. And she's like, So, but she also needed some modifications, but she's already, you know, starting to tone up and starting to notice some differences.
Wow.
So I'm really excited. Now, keep in mind, I'm not certified yet, so I can't do this for like people, like public, but Tanya's a friend, so I'm like, oh, try this, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm, you know, coaching or anything like
Here's
that.
your regimen for the
right.
week.
I just had to put that out there in case I get reported or something. Like, I'm not coaching.
Right. Just tips.
Right. Just some tips. Here we go.
You know.
Yeah.
From
Take that.
experience.
Exactly.
There you go. What do you do to exercise?
I used to be a pretty avid runner, but I'm not as dedicated as I once was. I think I got bored with it. You know, I was running for speed for a while when I was doing cross country, and then I ran more for endurance. And then I think I just got bored with it. So I still run, but not like I used to. I kind of fill in the gaps with other things. You know, like when our band is playing, like we have a show tomorrow night, and so since I'm a drummer, I'm moving all 4 limbs for 3 hours.
Which is
on
really
end.
hard to do.
So I kind of take that as my cardio.
Yeah.
Kind of take that as my workout. And you know, I washed a car earlier this week in the heat, so I was outside for a while, up and moving around. And then sometimes, if I don't have time to go to the gym, but I'm like, oh, I have time to play golf. You know, I'll go
that
walk,
counts.
you know, a few holes of golf in the afternoon, and you know, carrying the bag with a little extra weight and kind of going up and down the hills. I kind of count that as a bit of a workout for me.
Definitely a workout.
Yeah, I mean, if you walk 18 holes and don't take the golf cart, that is a huge workout.
I'm not walking 18 holes. I'm not even going to fool you on that.
All right,
I'll
well.
walk maybe 6. And I'm done
That's something.
Yeah.
in this heat.
Yeah, I don't blame you. But, you know, just the exercise of, you know, swinging, if you're engaging your core, you're rocking it out, man.
I still try to do the gym or weight lifting in some regard, you know, at least twice a week.
How about you, Meg?
Well, I used to be an avid runner like you, Christian. Ran track in high school, loved it. Obviously, I've gotten a little bit away from that recently, just given the busy schedule. Also used to ride horses all the time. A lot of people say, oh, that's not a workout. You know, the horse is doing the work. But you'll realize as soon as you start riding, especially if you've never done it, that you engage muscles you have never used in your legs. And you are sore for the first few days, or if you haven't done it in a while, you're still really, really sore, and it takes a while to get back into it. So that's a good workout, and I really hope to get back to the barn at some point soon. But honestly, for now, my workouts are chalked up to just walks with the kids. But when you're pushing a heavy double stroller, I hope, at least I feel like I'm burning some pretty good calories.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, you can even set your watch like every 5 minutes, stop the stroller and do 10 lunges on each side.
Oh, that's a good idea.
You know, or do 10 jumping jacks and 10 lunges, because the jumping jacks will increase your heart rate, get your cardio going, and then the lunges will strengthen your legs. Or you can do push-ups if you want, but
no.
Girls and push-ups, I mean, I know we have a love-hate relationship with that.
See, that's something
a good idea,
I would never even think about, stopping what I was doing to do something else to fill
that.
in the
Yeah.
gaps. But see, this is why people are coming to you.
Unofficially.
Unofficially.
For the tips.
Yeah, exactly.
Friend tips.
I know, it's
Friend
like,
tips.
right, there will be a time when I'm like, yeah, come to me, but it's unfortunately not right now.
Not yet.
Okay, so let's see what people are saying here. People still laughing at my burpee joke. I actually do love burpees. I've come to love them. I can do, in 60 seconds, I can do 22, which is pretty good.
Can you remind me what a burpee is?
Yes, so you jump to the floor, put your hands on the floor,
Okay.
push your legs out,
Yeah.
jump back in. You can do a push-up, by the way, if you want, and then jump back in, and then jump up with your arms up.
Okay, that's okay. Now I remember.
I would do it, but I have a dress on.
Yeah, let's not do
I
that.
have a dress on. Let's see. Rhonda said, working from home, I walk in the house one end to the other several times a day. My dogs think I'm nuts. LOL, she said. Bobby said, working, bike riding, stretching, and muscle toning through practicing martial arts. Oh my gosh, now that's incredible exercise.
That's awesome.
Whew, that's hardcore. Sean says he goes for long walks, participates in Talkback Radio on the Facebook, and now goes for bike rides. He said walking is a great exercise, and the workout with a bike is going to start soon. I'm assuming that's what it means. Jason says, I run to the fridge. Does that count? I think so. If you're running, sprint. Krista says, I go to Planet Fitness. Charlotte says, nope to my comments about burpees. Robin said, line dancing in my home. I love line dancing.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, that does. Let's see.
Sean, LOL, what exercise does a lazy person do? Diddle squats. Like diddly squat.
Joanne says she turns on the TV.
That was a good one, Sean.
And makes coffee. Yeah, so that's great.
All right, this was a fun first conversation. I think we've all learned something today. I'll report back to you on how those stroller lunges go. My son's gonna want to unbuckle himself and get out and do them with me, so.
Do them fast. All right, great first conversation. We have another one coming up, and stay right here. We got some headlines to get to.
Yeah, we do have, unfortunately, some very serious news that we're on top of this morning out of Eden, where police are investigating a triple shooting. Police say one person died, 2 others were injured. It happened around 9 last night at a house on Morgan Road, a chaotic scene. When officers arrived, they heard shots fired. Police say several people started running, and eventually officers found 3 people had been shot. 2 went to the hospital, and sadly 1 already had died in the yard. Officers say they detained some people at the scene as part of the investigation. Morgan Road from Lee Street to Flynn Street is closed right now. Police say they are still collecting evidence and interviewing several people who were there when the shooting happened. The Guilford County Sheriff's Office says it has arrested someone connected to a robbery at Reverend T. Anthony Spearman's home a week before he died. He's the former state chapter leader of the NAACP and passed away last week. Spearman's neighbor said he called police the night of July 13th after Spearman told him he had been robbed. The sheriff's office says deputies arrested a man named Jaden Hawthorne in connection to the robbery, but did not say what charges he's facing. The sheriff's office also is not releasing any information about Spearman's death. It's unclear whether the death and robbery are connected.
Greensboro Council member Justin Outling says Greensboro's race for mayor is not over. Incumbent Mayor Nancy Vaughn is the projected winner in this race, but the Guilford County Board of Elections needs to count any absentee ballots that were postmarked by Election Day Tuesday and arrive by tomorrow before they can certify the results. Now, Tuesday's race was a close one with Mayor Vaughn about 425 votes ahead of Outling. In the final results, if they lead to a difference of less than 1%, Outling can request a recount. The Red Cross is in the middle of one of its worst blood shortages. In the Carolinas, there was a 22% drop in blood donations in June. That is nearly double the decline across the country. You can help by donating blood today. WFMY News 2's Summer Blood Drive gets started at 9 this morning. It runs through 6 p.m. You can stop by Piedmont Hall at the Greensboro Coliseum or make an appointment. You can find that information on WFMYnews2.com. All right, here's our second conversation, y'all. The Panthers are back to work. Training camp is underway at Wofford College in South Carolina.
It is the first time we are seeing the entire team back in action together and glimpsing the new quarterback roster. Remember, Baker Mayfield recently signed on to the Panthers, but he and Sam Darnold both took snaps on Wednesday at practice. Coach Matt Rule says when it comes to who will start this season, he'll be watching both QBs and make a decision based on how they are playing. So this morning we are asking, who do you want to see start? Is it Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold? Let us know in the comments below.
All right, so we'll check the comments section in just a moment, but here's some of the responses that came in earlier. Ken said, well, we saw what Sam Darnold has last year, a 5-win season, so have the Panthers give Baker Mayfield the opportunity, he said. Another viewer said, Baker Mayfield, and someone else agreed, saying, Baker Mayfield deserves a job. He has shown with Cleveland he can win. We heard from JP, who said he's rooting for Sam. He said Sam played great the first 3 games last year. He said with a decent offensive line, he said he can perform. So those are some great comments there. Let's see what you guys all have to say in the comments. We'll start the conversation here at the table. Christian, you had something interesting to say about Matt Rule not giving any glimpses at what his plan is.
Yeah, if you're expecting to get an answer at a training camp this week, that ain't gonna happen. It's
It's too early.
It's too early. Matt Rule's not going to give that away, especially this early when we haven't even started preseason games yet.
Right.
So they're going to get through training camp. They'll assess, and I think he'll still be assessing through. Throughout the preseason games. Sam Darnold's going to get some time in the preseason. Baker's probably going to get some time in the preseason too. Remember, we're still a couple weeks away from even that starting, so really a month away at least from actual play. So you're not going to get the answer out of Matt Rule. He's not going to give that away. Second off, there's a couple different ways to look at it. I think from a business standpoint or a coaching standpoint, they're probably thinking, hey, we just spent a ton of money on Baker Mayfield. We probably need to see what he's got. So they may give it, to him. I think a lot of it depends on how well they get along in training camp, what we see, and, barring any more injuries from anybody. So it's still, I was way out on the playing field, I think.
I mean, they both had injuries last season.
Yeah.
So, I think this year is also a recovery year for them. So it'll be just to be depending on who's healthy at the time of the game.
Yeah.
And hopefully they've both been able to battle through it and they are ready to get back into the action. But, Sam Darnold's injury was pretty early on in this season. And Baker Mayfield's was as well. So they're really coming back into this, for the first time, let's see what we have.
Yeah.
We don't even know what we have. Let's see how far we can push ourselves.
I'd be interested to talk to Amanda, who's down there covering for us. I'd be interested to ask her what she saw out of both of those guys, because I'm sure it's something that she's watching pretty closely.
Yeah, and I'm curious for them how the competition is going to help or hurt them. Are they going to get into their heads about who's starting, or are they going to use each other to try to get better?
Yeah.
And that seems to be so far what we've seen in pictures posted by the Panthers of the two kind of walking into practice together, practicing together, doing some drills. In the interest of fairness, I would say Sam Darnold should start, given a chance to prove himself again, see what he's got this year now that he's fully recovered. But we know Coach Rule likes to give the fans what they want, so to say. There was this call to put Cam back in once the Panthers decided to get him back on the roster. It was good to start. It kind of boosted morale, and then, some change-ups in the lineup, and obviously, ultimately, that partnership did not work out. But from that perspective, you're right, Christian. We spent all this time and money and effort drafting Baker Mayfield. Should he give it a go at first?
Yeah, that's a good point. Y'all, go ahead.
No,
I'm going to hold this thought.
Are you not? You're going to hold it?
I'm going to hold it.
That means it was really good.
I'm going to hold it.
All right. Well, we can read some of the comments. The only thing I wanted to add to that is, when you're playing at this level, you've been through competition
Oh,
before.
yeah.
You know, in college and high school, whatever the case may be, maybe even Pop Warner. Who knows? But you've been in this situation where maybe you were the number one and maybe you're not the number one anymore. Or maybe you were the number two who got motivated to be number one. Whatever the situation, I think it brings the best out of athletes when you have someone who's constantly pushing you.
Yeah.
And we've seen, you know, Baker Mayfield came out and he said, you know, Sam Darnold was the first person who called me as soon as the trade went through and said, "Hey, come on, brother, let's go, let's rock this, let's get it going this season." So that was from the very start. So hopefully that's not the issue, and it's more of a coach's issue than a player's issue, because you know I think they just want to come out and play the best they can and win some games.
We've talked about this before too. Diehard Panthers fans are ready for change. And I mean change in the way of like, we need to get something going and we need something that we throw to the wall and it sticks. You know, we've had so much experimenting, I feel like, over the last couple of years. You know, I'm just, you know, hot take here. When everybody brought Cam back, I said Cam is not the end all be all answer here. Sure, he's good, but I don't think he's the total answer. You can't have one dude that handles the whole team, right?
Right.
You know, we came out and he won one game, and then we didn't really see a whole lot after that for the rest of the season. So Panthers fans are ready for change, and they're ready for a solution that really works for a while. And I think, I've said this before too, I think Matt Rule's got to find that this year, or he's going to be gone too.
Right. You can have an amazing quarterback, and if your offensive line isn't
Yeah.
strong, what's the point?
It is a team
You can have,
effort.
I mean, look what happened to Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
I mean, he was literally carrying the whole, I'm not going to say the whole team, but he was running himself to the ground. Let's just say that. And he had injuries too because of that. And the offensive line took a lot of heat for that. He never blamed the offensive line, but the fans saw what was going on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a team effort.
Right.
We got to get it together, but I think you're right. There could be a timeline on Coach Rule in needing him to prove himself as a leader and get the team together. Obviously not his fault either, but you know, when you're in charge, it's your team. It's your performance.
And when you see that solution really start to stick, it's good for the team, it's good for morale, it's good for Panthers fans, it's good for North Carolina, it's good for Charlotte, you know, it's good for everything. And I think that's kind of where Panthers fans want to be back to.
We do. Yeah.
All right, so
This is our year, I think.
Let's go.
we say that every year, don't we? But something feels different, doesn't it?
It does.
It does. All right, so Robin said don't watch the games anymore, but we do have Larry who said he does and said Baker Mayfield, that's an easy choice for him. That's the reason Panthers brought him in, he said. Bobby Odom said Baker to start. Rhonda Williams said play both in preseason, best opens the regular season, which is what you said. And yeah, that's basically it in terms of comments. So, but from the ones that I read, it looks as though, you know, people are hoping Baker kind of gets the role. But as we know, roles change throughout the season. You can start somewhere and it can be completely reversed by, you know, game five. So we will see.
We'll see.
All right, keep pounding. That's what we say every year to our cats. Okay, I was going to say pound the storms out of the forecast.
There you go. That's nice.
You know, we are to some degree today.
Yeah, we're trying to. A little lower storm chance for today for your Thursday. Still wouldn't rule one out. Keep an eye out, though, isolated at best this afternoon, and then the rain chances get a little better over the weekend. Saturday and Sunday, I've said this before, but maybe just have a backup plan in case. I think at some point over the weekend, you will likely get a shower or a storm in your neighborhood. Maybe one day, maybe both days, but there'll be a pretty good chance over the course of Saturday and Sunday. With the extra rain chances and the extra clouds, temperatures come down a bit to the mid-80s over the weekend, and we go right back up to the low 90s again by the middle and end of next week. By the way, feels like temperatures today, we're up around 100, even though temperatures are in the low 90s. That humidity is still playing a big factor in things, y'all.
Well, the stingrays at the Greensboro Science Center are unbothered by the heat. They're in a nice, cool aquarium with some equally cool water.
I love this new camera. So cool to see. You know, you see all the stingrays there, and I actually see a couple little sharks in here too. There are a couple sharks in that tank too.
It's so funny because my older kids will not put their hands in there, but Julian, he goes right up to it and he's like totally touching everything. He's like practically in there, and I'm like come back. He's like so fearless. It's just, I hope he doesn't wind up in there one day.
You know, we we've got a live feed on this like all day long. So a lot of times I'll pull it and use it in our noon show. And usually by that time, in the last couple of days, this exhibit has been such a hit. Like the school groups and the summer camps who are there. I mean, it's just students lined around the whole thing.
Right.
And they have, you know, people who they are trying to educate you about. It's really a cool exhibit.
It's not always open though. So yeah, it's open at select times, so you want to check on that if this is the reason that you're going. But they are really cool to see.
Good point, yeah.
And to be clear, toddlers are not allowed to get in.
No.
Anyone.
Don't
really.
take your swimsuit.
Right, correct. Diane Hudson just checked in from Eden, North Carolina. Good morning to you. We're going to be following the top story developing in your neighborhood, or at least in your community this morning, about that triple shooting. So make sure you're watching WFMY News 2 at noon. Not only Diane, but all of you for the latest update. Megan and Christian will keep you updated on that.
All right, and we will all see you bright and early tomorrow on Friday on After GMS. Take care.
See you.